Here is a 60-second strategy that I guarantee if you practice it well, will double your meeting engagement. And when I say engagement, I mean the buy-in that people have in a meeting or gathering, because there's not a tactic or a trick in the world that can trick someone into caring about a meeting. And so this 60-second strategy, which I call the context hook, really does take less than a minute to implement and usually less than a minute to prep. But what it does is give people the choice to play the same game that you're playing, to fully buy in to the purpose of your gathering. So right up front, let me give you an example in the hardest possible scenario. You have a meeting that people are mandated to be at and they don't want to be there, and you have to teach or share something that you are mandated to teach or share, and you don't even really want to be doing that thing. So this is like the extreme, unpleasant gathering scenario. Here's how I would use a context hook to fix this problem and double meeting engagement. So if nobody's bought into the purpose, the job is to use a context hook to reframe the purpose, change the context, and invite people to play a different game while also accomplishing the mandatory one. So for example, hey everybody, I know nobody wants to be here for this food serve safe training, and I've got 80 slides that I don't even really want to go through. And so I'm going to suggest we change the purpose of this gathering. Instead of just doing the serve safe training, I've planned some things that I think will make the time go quicker because they're engaging, it'll create a little bit of fun, but it's only fun if you choose to buy in. And my intent is to make it feel like this mandatory thing goes twice as fast so that we're done twice as quickly. Are you in? Do you see how this one context framing, like it acknowledges what somebody else might care about and shapes a new purpose that frames what they do care about, which is getting out of here because they don't want to be there to begin with. And so this is just an example of the power of a context hook. The idea is when a meeting or gathering starts, or people click a Zoom link to all be in the same place, the only thing that is actually shared context is the link they clicked or the room they are in. Everything else is different. They've had a different morning, they've got different texts on their phone, different stresses, different kids complaining about different things, right? Everything is different except for the link they clicked or the room that they're in. So you as the leader has to either invite the group to do something, or you have to say something that is so compelling that invites everybody into a shared context. And so for me, what I'm illustrating here is if you can come up with a single sentence that encompasses what everyone else in the room cares about and brings people together, that's your way of sharing an intent as a way of seeking their consent to engage in the rest of the meeting. And if you spend a minute prepping that, you will not have to pull teeth later for engagement. So let me give you one other example. If you're in a training and you're actually teaching someone something, a context hook might be, quotes often kind of encapsulate a good context. And so I might share with the group this idea that silence is, I would edit this quote to say, silence is the lost art of conversation. So I might say in this session, instead of me just talking at you the whole time, I want to deliberately give time for pause and reflection so you can connect, how does this matter to me at all? And so let's practice. I actually just want to begin with 60 seconds of silence. Here's the topic for the day. I want you to just think about in what way might this session actually impact your life? And at the end of that, I'm going to popcorn out a handful of answers. You ready? So silence is the great lost art of conversation. 60 seconds to ponder that. And then immediately, right in the first 3 minutes of the session, you're having people popcorn out. How might this topic impact your life? And so you're having the group make the argument for you of why it might be relevant to be in that session. Now, if somebody in the session says, there is nothing relevant about this at all for me, that is gold. The group has trusted you enough to be totally honest. And so I would fire back with them, not fire back at them, I would fire back with them and say, totally get that. So let me ask you this, what is important to you? If this is not relevant or important to you, what really matters to you right now? Because I'd love for this session to actually help you in some way, and I can't make that happen unless I know what's really important for you. This idea of a context hook is one part of this method that I use to design sessions to make sure everyone's super engaged, doubles the impact, but also designed to cut your prep time in half. You lower your effort quite a lot if you master context hooks, but this is just 1 out of 5 ingredients. If you're interested in once a year, I teach a masterclass to a small cohort of people in the contribution method, and you should come and check it out. And there's probably a link around here to do that. I am Chad Littlefield. Have an awesome day.